tell you. I don't need to tell it on air. I took the picture, and as soon as I walked away from it, the thing that was holding the red piece fell forward, knocking the beer from the top of the counter all the way to the ground, where it then rolled around a little bit. And I feel like opening it would be a bad idea right now.
Craft Brews and Casual Conversations. You heard it from the man himself. He said, I'll talk about it on air. And I said, okay, that's fine. And he's like, as soon as I hit record, no, I actually won't tell it on air. I'll just tell you right now. But really, he told the people. He let the masses know what's happening, what's going on. So you heard it first. That's the power of the record button. So beverages will be around, but maybe not necessarily opened quite yet. But that's okay because we got plenty of time to dive into the suds as you listen in to our luxurious intro after the magic words are expelled.
Yes. Don't open it. Just cue it.
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life. Dudes with Brews on a porch with Rob and Drew.
All right. Hello.
There we go.
Here we
Hello.
are. How's it going?
It's going well. At least now people know I talk exactly the same off mic as I do on mic. Thanks
Right.
for that.
What do you mean? Why is that a bad thing?
Oh, I didn't mean it to be a bad thing.
Oh, it is
It probably sounded that way though. I have bad tone control.
it's a genuine show. We're drinking. We're having some things. We're talking about. I got a fun little thing we're gonna play, which is gonna be good, I think. But first, we talk about the suds. I haven't gone beer shopping in a minute, Rob. So I'm diving into another delicious bourbon that I haven't had on the show. Bourbon's not going to replace beer. Eventually, I got to get to places. I got to get build up a variety. I got to do a lot of stuff, and I'm going to do it. I've been busy, okay? Get off my back. And this has been on my counter. I am drinking Eagle Rare, the 10-year Eagle Rare. It was introduced in 1975, Rob, by Seagram's master distiller Charles Chuck Beam as a 101 proof 10-year bourbon, originally non-single barrel. It was acquired by Sazerac or Buffalo Trace in 1989. Distilled, aged, and bottled in their Frankfort, Kentucky facility. Minimum of 10 years in new American oak barrels, charred alligator style. It uses Buffalo Trace Mash Bill number 1. Making a lot of noise over there. Corn heavy, less than 10% or equal to 10% rye. Same as Buffalo Trace, George T. Stagg, or E.H. Taylor. You got to stop moving. You're going creak, 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 creak.
All right, I everything I have creaks. My bed creaks, my chair creaks, my bones creak. I wanted to close the window because I turned up the mic and I could hear the air flowing through the window. So.
Even the air creaks in California.
It does, yeah. It's very creaky here.
You're going to get a bold yet smooth palate. Candied almonds, rich cocoa, caramel, brown sugar, honey. Some reviewers note dark fruits, leather, allspice, tobacco, and cherry. We'll see. It finishes with a dry, lingering oaky with hints of herbal tobacco, leather, and toffee. This is a sought-after bourbon. Buffalo Trace has some of the most sought-after bourbons out there. Eagle Rare is a part of that. People love it. MSRP between $50 and $70, but some places charge like $100 for these things, which is insane. But it's a well-balanced, highly rated, age-stated bourbon. And, They got a new one coming out. They got an Eagle Rare 12-year coming out, which will probably be as equally impossible to get as Eagle Rare 10. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I got it in my bougie glass. Look at the color. Embrace it.
Very that's a little almost got a reddish amber.
Yeah, it kind of does.
When you maybe, I don't know if that's your hand coming through. I can't tell because you're moving it. There it is. Yeah, no, it's got a little bit of a red hue to it.
Yeah. People do this. Swirl
Especially
it
as you swirl it. Is it just me, or does it sound like if you were to say, what does this bourbon taste like? Jesse James's boot. People would be like, "That's I want to pay a lot for that."
I think they would.
It tastes like tobacco, leather, 1880s gold pieces.
I don't know where they get all that from. I've never drank something and gone, leather. Like I don't know. I think a lot of people. I don't think anybody gives honest like bourbon reviews. I like bourbon. It's good. I like it. And sometimes I'll get like a caramel taste, maybe a vanilla. Like I get some of those tastes, but I can't like the guys that just like shove their fucking nose in it, swirling around and go, oh yeah. It's like they build this whole like personality off of it, and it's like talk to the everyman. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck if you lick it and it tastes like Fonzie's jacket. Or maybe you do. I don't know. I guess I would care. If it was Fonzie's jacket, I'd give it a lick. But I just, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really honest everyday jargon. You hear that whistling?
I think my roommate's making tea or coffee.
Oh, good for him.
They just came back. That's when I got up and closed my window because they tend to go out on the patio. I was trying to prevent random noises, but
good,
it just does not happen.
It's good. It's got a light mouth feel, a little bit of a burn. Not bad.
We need to make like IMBUs, internal mouth burn units, so that we can go, what is it? What's the IMBUs on this bad boy? That's about a 3.
Yeah, that's
and
a good
actually
idea.
It'd be like 3,000 because you can get real subtle and be like, it's like 3,013.
Yeah, I like that. I can work on that scale a little bit.
It's on a scale of 1 to 1,000,000.
Are you brave enough now to open your beverage?
You know, in honor of making really terrible noises, I can put it in this large bag I have and open it.
Just give it a.
Should I just go for it?
Yeah, I think it'll be
Just
fine.
Everything I own is here. All my
do
electronics.
the old school tapping on the. There you go.
Oh, I feel like I'm in high school again. Don't drink before you're 21.
Right.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah. Oops.
I think I'm going to be okay.
Okay, that's good.
There it is. All right. So I am drinking from Almanac. Future is fluid. It says it's dank, lush, and bold. I've got 6.0 on the ABVs. And really all I have on this is that this beer was created by the women of Almanac in support of the Pink Boots Society, a nonprofit that creates training and educational opportunities for women working in the craft beer industry. So that's a good cause. It's a good, I know many that are working in this industry. And so check out, what is this?
Almanac.
pinkbootsociety.org.
Future is Fluid is a West Coast IPA, dry hopped with Mosaic, Sabro, Simcoe, and Cashmere. And then the rest you already said.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. You can't go wrong with Simcoe.
Right.
I've always liked Mosaic and Simcoe hops. Like everybody wants, citric hops are great, but Mosaic and Simcoe, I've always liked beers that have those. This is a very smooth beer. It is not bitter. It has a great, it has a great West Coast IPA taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't, it's not your fruity type of beer.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bitter. It's probably got some IBUs. I don't know what they are, but
I'm
it's
not
a
sure.
bitter in a good way.
Good.
I don't know if I'd call it dank. It's definitely not high up there on the dankness that some beers have. But I also didn't put it in a glass. But I think it got stirred around enough when I dropped it on the ground.
Probably.
It smells really good.
Good.
Moving on.
All right. So it is summertime. I find myself having, some extra days off during summer, if you will. And one of my missions in summer is to read a little bit more. So I just wrapped up Cujo by Stephen King. Finally able to get through it. Finally able to finish it. And I'm gonna spoil the ending if that's okay.
Okay.
So one of the things that happens is that this young kid in the book, his name is Tad Trenton. He gets trapped in the car with his mom Donna. His dad is off trying to save his company from a ad campaign that went awry, that went bad because of the product, and he's trying to do that. But they're trapped in a car while Cujo is right by it. Car is broken. It can't be moved. Eventually, right, he goes through this long story, trapped in the car. Tad's got the monster words to keep the bad people away. In the end, Tad is dead. Tad is not dead because of Cujo. Tad is dead because he had heat stroke and dehydrated. His mom finally mustered up the courage to get out of the vehicle at the very end, put Tad in the back seat, and is like, we're fucking doing this. I'm taking out this goddamn dog after it bit me and did all this other stuff. The last round, she takes care of business. Dad finally shows up. Kid's dead. And I was just like, as I was reading it, I was like, wow, that really sucks.
I wanted to cut you off so bad, and because I just saw a billboard that said car death starts at 60 degrees. And it was like a child in a car with the windows up.
Could have been Tad. But it made me think because I'm not too familiar with Stephen King books, but I know Stephen King stories, and I'm like, what's with Stephen King killing kids all the time? And then we'll talk about this later. Kills a kid in Pet Cemetery, leads to the whole story. Kills a kid at the end of The Mist, and then kills little Tad. And I did some research. Stephen King was drugged out of his mind when he wrote Cujo, so he doesn't really have too much of a thought process behind it, and he says he regrets it. But anyways.
He shouldn't regret that. The reason you kill a child is because it's an emotional connection with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes you feel something. I mean, the end of The Mist, I never read the book, but the movie, if it's true to the book,
pissed me off.
One of the greatest endings to a movie ever.
No, made me upset.
That's why it's a good ending, because it created an emotional connection with you, the audience. It doesn't have to be tears of joy. Sometimes it can be what did I just watch?
Yeah. So it got me thinking of other stories as well. And we're going to walk through some of notable child characters, fictional, in books, who died in them. And we are going to analyze them and decide if it was worth it or if it was a mistake.
Are these well-known books?
I think so.
Okay.
For the most part. There's been movies made out of a lot of these. First one being Tad Trenton. He's a totally innocent kid. Did nothing wrong, just got in the car with his mom on their way to go get the car fixed. And Dad was gone. He had no other choice. I didn't like it. Got terrorized by the dog with rabies. Kill the mom. Don't kill the kid, in my opinion. But
I think it's great. I think it's it's probably a 400 page PSA, public service announcement saying, watch out for car death, watch out for rabies, and big dogs should be on a leash. I mean, these are things that people need to know.
They did note Cujo did not have his distemper or rabies shot.
Yeah. So get your dogs shotted and get your kids AC'd.
Yeah.
And make sure you tune up that car because you never know when the dog's gonna be off the leash.
Right. I agree with that. I think it was a mistake killing him. I wish they didn't. It bothered me.
Did you come to love Tad as a main character? Was he the main character in the book? Because
There's a lot of main characters, but I
thought it was only like 3 people. It was like the dog and the mom and the kid.
No, there's way more than that.
Well, like the mailman comes and gets killed by Cujo.
The mailman doesn't come. He skips the house when he was supposed to.
Oh, that's right, because he's afraid of the dog, right?
No, it has nothing to do with the dog. He doesn't know. He thinks the dude is on vacation.
Oh,
there's
better. See, that's why Stephen King's so good. You think you know why he does things, but he changes it. He does it for different reasons.
There's a lot. There's a handful of characters in this book, and they're all almost each set of the families. There's like 3, kind of like specific, kind of. They all are impacted by the dog. Anyways, moving on. Have you read Lord of the Flies?
I have not read it. I've seen the old version of the movie.
So, Piggy, a lot of the kids die in this story, but Piggy, he's the guy that gets crushed by the boulder, and it's they're stranded on. There's one of the stranded schoolboys. He's smart. He's bullied. He's crushed to death by a boulder. Now, is that necessary? Is that it says it's supposed to be a symbol of lost civilization?
Well, yeah. If he's the I forget. Like, I'd have to rewatch to know the characters' names, but and that stuff. It's been a while, but I mean that I think everything in that story is absolutely necessary. And if he's the voice of reason, then it's very symbolic that he would be somebody that is killed by the chaos. Potentially, I can't, and I don't think that wakes up the society of kids that are kind of going off the rails, even when that happens. And we need to see that too.
Okay. Next one.
I mean, so you're gonna bring out the Lord of the Flies, man. We're talking high school reading and early days movies. So I don't have it all directly in my head, but I do know that movie is it's a very powerful story. No matter how you ingest it.
We got a lot of Stephen King cases on here, just so you know. So you say it's worth it. Piggy, he should have.
I think that needed to happen. I think that's worth it, and it's not even an emotional thing. I think that is just so symbolic to what that story is trying to tell you, that I think it's very necessary for the story.
Next one, Isaac Kroner of Children of the Corn. So he is the cult leader of the corn worshipping kids in Gatlin. Are you familiar with the story, Children of the Corn?
Man, it's been a minute, and I think this was one that creeped me out a little bit when I was, It's funny because the Stephen King stuff that I've read and even seen, I don't think there are children that die. I mean, unless you count like the twins in The Shining.
They're already dead.
They don't die. They're already dead. So I mean, they had to die, obviously, but there's a whole theory about that too. But yeah, so you're probably going to hit me with. I'm trying to think of even well-known stories that I know of where a child's death plays a large part. But so give us a rundown. I actually do know. I did just read this yesterday, but for our listeners,
he's the cult leader of the corn worshipping kids, as I said. So essentially there's this a town of kids, and they essentially give up like sacrifices to this the demon that they worship. In the end, Isaac is betrayed and killed by said demon that he worships. Now I would say this is worthy of the kid of dying. This kid is a complete and utter psycho. He deserves it. He's worshiping a a satanic being, and you never know. You gotta be as cool looking as some of them are. You gotta be a little leery every once in a while because they're gonna betray you. I've watched Evil Dead enough to understand there's no like working with these types of entities.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. Are you picking that up?
A little bit. You're good.
Okay, because I can go ask him to turn it down.
No, man, you're good.
All right.
It's a shared space.
The Children of the Corn is, I think that there's ultimately got to be some child death in that one.
Yeah. Now this one, again, another Stephen King. We're gonna Stephen King heavy here. Karen, or is that? Yeah, Karen, the infant son of Lewis and Rachel Creed in Pet Sematary, gets hit by a friggin' truck. Opening scene, tragic.
What a way to open a story.
I know. It's like you think Tad and Cujo dying of dehydration. Just read this opening line or opening part where the kids are negligent parents not paying attention to their kid. Kid bolts out into the road, gets smoked by a truck. Dunzo. And then you have the story. Now, in my opinion, I have a soft spot for kids. Obviously, I don't like it when kids die. I don't like it when I was even reading Cujo and I'm like, I really hope this kid doesn't die. The whole time, I hope this kid doesn't die. Sure enough, he did. It's almost like I manifested it, even though this was written a long time ago. But in Pet Sematary, you kind of need, to a degree. Does it really need to be a kid for somebody to go the extra mile to bury them in this ancient burial ground to kind of bring them back, but it doesn't really bring them back?
Yeah, I think it does, and I think it needs to be a small child too.
Has to be.
I think it has to be a small child that because first off, when to create the situation where the audience is going to go along with the fact that this guy is going to do this, you need it to be a small child that gets hit by a large truck, because instantly you're on the side of the child, you're on the side of the dad, you're on the side of the parents. Just it's terrible, it's traumatic for the audience the same way it's traumatic for the parents in the story.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like his 16-year-old son, it's like, okay, well, yeah, that sucks, but you can become an alcoholic for that.
Yeah,
like that's how you cope with that. But when it comes to an infant who had its whole life in front of him, Magic Cemetery for sure.
All right.
And then that's did you need to make bloodlines? No.
Well, I was gonna say Bloodlines is not a small kid. It was a kid who went to war. His body got sent back to, which they didn't really explain very well.
So, they didn't do anything in that movie very well. But
you're right. Except for cast
David Duchovny. But we legitimately have the roadmap here, where you have Pet Sematary, which is a timeless, Stephen King novel that people go back to as being, whether you like the movie or the book or whatever, the story itself is good and it's creepy and scary or whatever. Bloodlines is terrible. And it's because you don't even understand what is happening, because the connection is not there. You're not on the side, and then like at the last minute they're like, oh, this is I watched that movie twice trying to make it good. It wasn't.
Yeah, I understand. Well, let's if anything,
is Harry Potter on this list? Because I'm pretty sure he died for a minute.
Cedric is on the list. He dies in the Goblet of Fire. But
book 4, right?
You're right, book 4.
I read that whole series. This one I can talk about the actual book.
Well, can I give a hot take real quick on Harry Potter?
Please do.
Can we all move on from it?
Have we not yet?
People go wildly crazy. They're making it a television series on HBO Max with new kids. I think every season's going to be a book, so a little more in depth or whatever. But I mean, come on, is it really that great that so many people need to just worship it and quote it and do all this stuff? Like people, I get it. It was part of your youth. I personally only read through the 5th book, and I haven't seen past the 4th movie. But I mean, come on. Can we just move on?
I mean,
There's other.
yeah, I'll say this: I read all the books, I watched all the movies back when as they came out. It's easy reading. Yes, they created an interesting world. There's things that don't make sense, but as soon as Disney made the Hogwarts World of Wizardry or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go and walk in there, it's like everybody wants to hold on to their youth. I want to hold on to the original 3 Star Wars, even though they came out 30 years before I was born, or 10 years before I was born, 30 years before I don't know. I can't do math.
Yeah.
But we all want to hold on to something, and like with Star Wars, I had to grow up, and these people are going to have to grow up when they watch these TV shows and stuff as they get progressively worse and worse, as the Star Wars universe did.
Mm-hmm.
You hold out some hope, but you go, no, it's time to grow up and watch Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
But I will say this: I watched Andor season 1 and 2. Very good. Very happy about it. It awakened a small child that I had murdered Stephen King's style in my heart.
Yeah. I have this.
You can call Andor the pet cemetery of the Star Wars child soul.
We're gonna move to. Can I move to movies? Because there's a lot of movies.
Please do, because the books that I've read are do not have that kind of stuff in them. And if they did, I don't remember them.
So in this one, we're gonna look at 2, I guess. My Girl. Have you seen My Girl?
I've definitely seen My Girl, and what is it? Macaulay Culkin's character, yes.
Thomas J. Sennett, played by Macaulay Culkin, a sweet boy, wearing he doesn't have his glasses, allergic to everything.
This one was terrible. This one, I can feel it again in my chest. I forget about this, but when you bring it back,
he goes back to retrieve the girl's lost mood ring, something that could be easily replaced at any flea market in that fucking town.
Surely she picked that out of a Frosted Flakes box.
Right. Gets attacked by a swarm of bees, dies from an allergic reaction. Coming of age movie. Nobody saw this coming, right? Nobody. He can't see without his glasses. That's the big line that she says while, you see his stung up face laying in a casket. Oh, what a fucking
I'm trying to figure out why that was such a big part of the movie moving forward, because that was pretty early in the movie, yeah?
I don't think so, is it?
That can't be the climax. I thought that was like right in the beginning somewhere.
I don't know. It was dark. But that's why I guess that made it the movie.
It was very dark, and it was like you didn't just kill that kid, you tortured him.
Right.
With blindness and bee stings.
Right. That's the name of this episode. Blindness and Bee Stings. And he was like an innocent kid. Essentially, it caused the character to confront mortality, grief, and obviously made it unforgivable. Now, we look at the other movie that Macaulay Culkin gets killed in, The Good Son.
Oh, geez, yeah.
That one might be a little bit more worthy.
Well, that's because Macaulay Culkin in The Good Son was the villain. Right. And somehow it made it okay. Oddly enough, the movie he doesn't get killed in, Home Alone.
Right.
Which, I mean, come on, let's be realistic here.
Right.
But no, I think, man, The Good Son, I used to watch that every year when I was a kid.
Just every year?
Just like a tradition on August 9th, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood's performance in that movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. I really enjoyed that movie, and I think Macaulay Culkin had to die there. And it offsets the fact that he died so innocently and terribly in My Girl.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a bit of a bummer. There's one movie where the
He goes because he goes over the cliff, right? He gets.
they're both hanging off essentially, right? And the mom has to pick. The mom has to pick one of them. And isn't Elijah Wood not the lady's kid? She kills her own kid, right? It's like
something like that.
Nephew and son is essentially what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. What people don't really know is that actually he fell from the cliff, but he didn't die. He turned into Golem, and he follows Elijah Wood through New Zealand later in life. That's
right.
Out of jealousy.
Right. That's what it was. There's a movie that this is probably the only time you'll ever hear me say it, that I wanted the kid to die, but he didn't. And that was
I'm interested.
The Omen.
Oh, The Omen is a scary movie that I probably watched once, and I didn't get like there's a while. Sometimes I can do scary movies, sometimes I can't.
Omen is Damien, the
Damien
spawn,
kid. I can see the kid, but yeah, I can't. I don't know.
Does some sinister shit, and then in the version that I saw, I don't think it was the original, and I don't know how the original ends. It could be similar. He just like all this stuff happens, and then it like turns around, and you just see his face, and he just smiles, and then it's over. And I was like, "You little bastard, wreaking havoc all over the joint, and just smiling away, gets away with it." Pretty crazy.
I've got a question for you, real quick.
Yeah.
Off script. I didn't do any research on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's O'Doyle or O'Boyle, but I think it's O'Doyle.
O'Doyle.
Did O'Doyle need to die in Billy Madison?
The whole family?
The whole family.
O'Doyle rules. And yeah, it's because the car ran over a banana peel.
A banana peel, very. It's a very small percentage of people die that way.
They died though with with some dignity, I'll say, because they're just
they died as they lived.
O'Doyle rules. O'Doyle rules as they're going off a cliff, clearly looking at the ground in which they are about to fall on, and they just, that's how we do it.
But in that scene, in that small scene, that made me feel so much for the child, because his parents didn't say "I love you." They didn't reach out to hold their children to say, "You are my world in my death. As I die, I want to hold you, and we will die together." No, they said O'Doyle rules and pumped their fists in the air. So they were headed for some mental struggles through life anyway. I think they had some bridges they had to build and get over.
Yeah. I wouldn't have never thought about them. That didn't bother me at all.
No, that's it. Really, we all get a good laugh about that whole family dying in a fiery car wreck.
And it pertained nothing to the movie. It didn't. And it
was just
forward.
A callback to the O'Doyle rules. Yeah,
let's just kill him. Let's just throw him off a fucking ledge. Oh, you're right. Some children did die in that movie.
And the bully, in that moment, I really do think in the moment when they're dying and they're just going O'Doyle rules, you find out why he's a bully. It's because his parents don't love him enough to even say it when they're falling off of a cliff.
I think you're right, and I think so. Then I think that those deaths of the O'Doyles were a mistake.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Damn, good point. Yeah, it just got me. It really.
Do you have any more on your list, or did you end it with The Omen?
Well, that was so in. I mean, if we're looking in the world of like TV shows, one, in a relatively recent show, and also video game, kind of bugged me a little bit too. Did you watch The Last of Us?
Oh, I was going to say, please don't say The Last of Us, because it's on my list of things to play and watch. The kid doesn't die, right? The main character kid?
A kid does die in the first season, in the first game, that helps you out. So can I spoil it, or should I table it?
Spoil it, because I don't want to watch the show. I want to play the video game, but it's a PlayStation exclusive, and I sit here on Xbox. So
the first game and the first season are very, very close. Some differences, but not really. It's very close. But at one point in time in the show, there's these brothers, Henry and Sam, that they kind of team up with. Sam is deaf, and they direct our main characters of The Last of Us, Joel, and what the hell? I don't know why I'm blanking on the girl's name. Ellie, Joel and Ellie.
I think it is Ellie. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going
Okay.
through, and then at one point in time, you find out Sam got bit. He's infected, and he turns essentially, and then it comes to the point where his brother Henry has to kill him. You're looking at a zombified version of a character, so you have to think of it as like not really a person, but once was a person. Henry kills his brother, then Henry kills himself immediately afterwards. And I was like, ugh.
See, but that's man, those are tough for me because it's like you don't want to see that, but that's the stuff that you got to see.
Drives the story.
The fact that it drives story, but it also just it's such a things that give you such a visceral reaction in a story that go like. I keep going back to the end of The Mist. I mean, the end of The Mist is one of those that is just so heartbreakingly perfect in terms of putting you in the character's shoes where you are mortified with the decision he's about to make.
Yeah.
Because of all the things. And then you expect one thing, and then he gets saved, and it's like it legitimately, that's such a gut punch in a story. To go from, all right, well, the best option on the table is I shoot my son and my family, and I don't have enough bullets to do everybody, so I'll stay alive and deal with whatever it is in the mist. And then as soon as you do that, oh, they killed everything in the mist, and the world is saved. Like it's one of those things where it's like you don't really. You never think about that because you never want to be in that position. But when somebody opens your eyes to the harsh truth of being put in that position, it's like, fuck, I would probably do the same thing. And what if? And it really sucks all the air out of you. And those are the things. That's what a child death in a story, I think, does to an audience. Is it makes you think about the unthinkable, which is things that happen every day. A parent should never have to lose their child, but these things happen.
Yeah, and I'm just saying it every single time that it happens, minus Billy Madison and the Omen, it bothers me. And I really don't like it. There's certain things that go down in movies, certain things that go down in books, that when it happens, it really makes me feel like uncomfortable, which I guess I mean, for me, when it started with Cujo, and I'm like, I read all of this whole journey, and like, Tad is a big part of it. Just an innocent kid. He just wants to go home. He wants his dad. He sees all this go down, and then he's like, dehydration.
The silent killer.
Yeah, hydration is no joke. You should.
Cujo is the loud killer that you look out for, but dehydration, it'll get you on the back end like an assassin.
He had some milk, and that was about it. And beef jerky.
That's more. That's not going to get you far.
You're right. Yeah, it was.
If Ron Burgundy taught us one thing, it's milk on a hot day. It's a bad choice.
When it got really hot too in that car. But it really led me to like close the book and go, I don't know if I like Stephen King.
Well, I know. So you and Adrian have both been going down the Stephen King road. Because have you read a couple other ones recently too?
I read
right?
Shawshank. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, somebody else just brought up Shawshank, and they told me I should read the actual book. Because I've read Langoliers, I've read Misery, I've read The Shining, I've read half of The Stand. It's I'm trying to think. There's some. I went through my Stephen King phase, and he's great. He really is a good writer. But whatever you decide to read.
Yeah, I thought like I'm reading a different book right now. You'll probably laugh at me, but I'm reading Mark Hoppus's book from Blink-182. He wrote a memoir. I'm reading that right now.
A memoir, huh?
A memoir?
Yeah, I thought you said memoir.
I don't think I did.
Okay, well, it's not recorded, so we'll never know. But I would never make fun of you for reading that.
It's pretty good so
Yeah,
far.
I'm sure it is.
It's interesting. But after that, I don't know if I'm going to dive into another Stephen King book or if I'm going to look for something else. I thought about I think potentially Pet Cemetery I don't know why, or The Shining. That is a big fucker. The Shining's
Read
big.
The Shining, because that's one that's so much different than the movie in terms of what the story is. The story is about something that it really gets lost in the movie. What The Shining is and what they're talking about.
Or Dreamcatcher.
Oh, Dreamcatcher! I think I actually read that in high school.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And then what was the other one that I read? Maybe Thinner. Is that a short story? Is that a full? I don't know. He's got a lot of short stories too. Because I think Langoliers is only a short story. It's
so
not
is
even a full.
Shawshank. Shawshank's 120 pages.
Yeah.
And then
because I bought full stars, no glory, or full dark, no stars, which has a story that I really wanted to read in it, but I never did.
I want to read Stand By Me. That's a short story by him.
I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. The man's great. Look at he's did a lot
outside of killing children, which he has some weird lines in Cujo. And it's just just creepy shit. I don't know. Borderline what was the point of this sentence?
Probably make you question why that sentence was there.
It's gross. I was like, okay, that doesn't describe. I'll tell you later. I didn't like it. I liked the book. It was just sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? That's a weird thing to say. I forgot where I was going.
That's okay. Do we want to table this or do we, and talk about news?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, in some news, we're getting close to what we got a month and a half left before you come out here.
Mm-hmm.
Which means we've got 2.5 months before I come back there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Coming back for a week.
Hell yeah. Are you going to UP or are you coming to these parts as well?
I think I'm going to stick in the old stomping grounds.
Oh, all right.
I mean, we might drive up for a day or two out of the seven days that I'll be there, but I kind of want to I want a vacation.
Yeah.
But I would love to see the house as it is and as they say. But
yeah, heck yeah. So we'll be reunited.
Yeah,
hopefully when I'm down and in we talked last week, stuff's going down in LA and all over the place, and hopefully that's calmed down a little bit. I started looking at comedy venues. I looked at the Comedy Store because that's really the one thing I want to do. They don't have their big lineups out that far yet, but I will say you're not wrong when you say Jay Leno is at Flappers every
Sunday.
Time. Almost every other weekend too.
Yeah, no, I think he's there. There was a while recently he's there every Sunday.
He just does the same show over and over again.
I don't know. I assume so.
Who's going to that?
It's never appealed to me. But he legitimately goes and he does Big Bob's auto show on Saturdays, and then he goes and he does Flappers on Sundays, and
I don't get it.
Apparently he's good at stand-up, and he just sucks at being a talk show host, but he's great at being a talk show host if you talk to affiliates and things like that, because he never did anything revolutionary. He never made awkward moments. I feel like he was more of he kind of tried to appeal to the mass audience, which, hey, he's a businessman. I just like my comedians to be comedians.
Well, then he tried to shift all the blame on Conan, saying that when Conan took over, the ratings were tanking and they were going to cancel it anyway. So they actually called him to come back. I don't believe that.
Whatever they decided to do, it's neither here nor there. Conan's got a great career out of it.
I love Conan.
Yeah, Conan, probably because of my age. I mean, I love Letterman. I like watching old Carson, but as much as I like watching all those people, Conan is the guy that his genuine ability to laugh with a guest or at what the guests were doing in the panels and things makes him probably the best in my book. Letterman could come off kind of like an asshole sometimes. Leno just seemed like he was mayonnaise, or ketchup, like just, oh, I'm good with everything. Carson was the one that spearheaded the whole industry in terms of TV. And he was witty and everything, but witty in a different generation. I think Conan transcends generation because he was so enamored with how, when somebody told a good joke, he was the first one to laugh.
Yeah.
And he was the first one to tell somebody they were being an asshole, or he was the first one to tell, it's like Conan's just so genuine. And still to this day, I think that's why he'll always be my favorite.
Yeah. I listen to his podcast all the time. I wish he would come on this one. Wouldn't that be something?
He's coming on next week.
Yeah, that'd be great. If you can make that happen, please do.
Yeah, I'll get on that. I'm sure he's not booked up.
Nah, he's open. He's ready. But
yeah.
That's what I got, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to come down there. I'm excited to cut loose a little bit and see your world for a few days. You know what it's like here. So like really you don't have much to prepare for, just more like who am I going to see and what are we going to do?
Which is always that gives me great anxiety, and then also when anybody comes here, it gives me great anxiety.
No anxiety needed. One thing I want to do.
In reality, this place is not much different than that place, other than the sheer size of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's good food in where you're at. It's just fewer and further between. Here there's all these good restaurants and good bars and things like that, and then venues to go see things happen. And if you got the money, yeah, we can go do whatever you want. But unfortunately, it's still a rat race out here the same way it is there, and you gotta pick and choose.
Yeah, I just want to go to the one venue, and then I want to go rub elbows with your peers.
Which, if you're here on the weekend, I can make that happen.
I would like to meet someone special to you.
Well, Jack moved to Colorado, so I don't think he's going to be here.
Yeah. How's he doing? He was on our show. I mean,
no, he never made it on. I wanted him to get on. He's great at voices. He's great at he's hilarious.
Who am I thinking of?
Well, AJ was on.
AJ, that's who I'm thinking. I'm sorry. AJ.
Yeah, AJ, Rob. We had Carl came on for an episode.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, Carl came on. He's the brewmat. He worked. Carl definitely.
Oh
did
yeah,
an
yeah.
episode
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember. I do remember.
We had Ivy Brannon on.
You still talk to her?
That was a good. I haven't talked to her for a while. I do need to reach out to her.
Yeah.
She moved on from Tony's, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we'll definitely. You're coming on Saturday?
Yeah.
Then Sunday morning, man. Sunday morning at TDA.
I'll be there in the afternoon. I'm landing at like 1
on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really Sunday morning. A lot of people go to Tony's, and we can see them there and start our day with a vegan burrito.
I'll eat it.
Yeah, I know you will. I'm gonna make it happen.
And I already have a plan for if you're working on that Saturday. I already know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Tony's by myself.
Oh, hell yeah! It's right down the street from my house.
And hope somebody's
Rob will
working.
Be there.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna see if he remembers me. Put him to the test.
Rob will introduce you to that. Honestly, would be your best bet, because on a Saturday afternoon, Rob will legitimately he'll go around and be like, "Oh, Drew, you got to come and meet this person," and then they'll be like, "This is Rob's co-host," and da da da. That's what he does. He's very good at bringing people together.
Excellent.
So
It's gonna be
I
great.
can't wait till we get to do our live shows together for a couple times here again, and
That'd be great. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
So
Put a beautiful bow on it, and we promise in the creation of anything, we won't kill any characters at all ever. We've killed some. The Grinch.
yes,
Sorry.
yeah. I mean, you never know. I thought I saw his pinky move.
Right. And like Superman at the end of was it
That Superman. At the
Batman
end of
versus
Superman.
at the end of Batman versus Superman, the movie that no one really saw, and then
I like that movie.
and then they made the Justice League after that. But you have to watch the 4-hour version, I guess, for it to be good.
Yes, which makes no sense, also. But
Right. If it takes you 4 hours, like to convey a story on a film, I think that's a little excessive.
I agree. How was your bourbon?
It's good. I haven't finished it yet, but I will.
I still have a little over half a beer.
Dang. We're slowing down. Time is getting to us. We are old, but we are still plugging away. We are still part of the Porch Pint Society, and we are still enjoying ourselves, living life, getting by. So that's that. It was good. How was it so far? I mean, you're gonna finish it, or are you gonna throw it out the window?
I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it off mic.
That's fine.
That's how good it is.
Good. Maybe have another while you're at it.
Potentially, I have another blackberry honey
Oh, nice.
Kolsch.
Hell yeah.
So
linktr.ee/Dudes with Brews, the place you need to be for all of our stuff, all of our merch, and that's really about it. We got stuff, we got other stuff. Links, digital stuff, physical stuff, but you have to go to the digital stuff to get the physical stuff. That's the way the world works. His name is Roberts, Bobby, Bob. So many monikers, so much man, so much just everything. I'm
Joseph.
I'm the other guy.
So much beard. So much handsome,
Yeah.
luscious amazement. I'm just looking at his eyes. Good night.